They optimized my bottlenecks, removed redundant pointer checks. The database's sub-selects are indexed to a T. They shaved the microseconds down till there was nothing left to count. I instantaneously found the answer in a breeze. But I've been feeling so alone. Nobody here is calling from a function or a phone. If I'm dead code, let me die. 'Cause I'm only...
It's the Monday Morning Show. Today is March 16th, 2015. I'm Ken LaSalle. That's Josh Woodward singing Dead Code. You can find out more about Josh at joshwoodward.com. You can find out more about me at kenlasalle.com. This week, I think I'm going to talk about a few stories in the news, but they will all be on a single theme. This week, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. This all started because I was at the grocery store last week and caught a glimpse of just how prudish people are in the U.S., in Southern California, even. I caught a look at the new Sports Illustrated in the magazine rack, only I didn't see it all because the woman on the cover was wrapped in a protective brown paper cover. Someone had wrapped the cover in a cover. I suppose some adult did that to protect passing children from, I don't know, bad beachwear. But issues of fashion and how detrimental swimming suits are to impressionable young minds aside, I also caught a look at the dozens of gun magazines right next to it, each displaying their glossy covers of gun porn unimpeded by any cover at all. Clearly, the message is, guns are fun. Bikinis are sinful. Fucking America, man. Oh, I should probably warn you, I'm going to swear in this episode. I get angry when people are this stupid. Have you ever known a bikini to walk into a preschool and open fire on a bunch of kids? Probably not. And yet, those right-wingers who swear they're protecting the children never seem to do any protecting when it comes to guns. There are gun proponents who push for open carry, push for guns in church, push for guns, gunsity guns. But don't you dare bear any skin or you're the worst of the worst. Can you think of any other society that gets all crazy about wrapping their women up, covering them as much as possible, while worshipping their guns to a point of phallic fanaticism? Gun-crazy Muslim nations may come to mind. And I don't mean to insult Muslims as a whole, just, most of them. The U.S. government has been on a tear about bombing Muslim nations for decades now. Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Pakistan, Syria. But I find it interesting how much we love what they do. Cover all the women, brandish all your guns, because clearly women are dangerous and guns are as cuddly as a newborn puppy. People are idiots, folks. The other night, while watching Archer, you should definitely watch Archer, by the way, I saw a sign that warned viewers of nudity. Okay, let's follow the so-called reasoning here. These are drawings, okay? Drawings. Nudity is defined as the state of being naked. People can be naked. Drawings can't. You know why? Because they're drawings! And I wish that was the end of it, but it gets even dumber. Because I suppose you could get concerned if the show displayed depictions, drawings, of nude people. But you know what? They don't. Ever. At the most, they show a bare buttock or a bare back. Is that how repressed we are? That we have to warn people that they might witness a bare back? Oh my God, get the kids out of the room. That's someone's shoulder blade. I swear, I think this country is run by children, or someone's grandmother. Our issues with sex don't end with the mere drawing of a shoulder blade, however. No, things get worse when we start having to deal with people actually having sex. And that's when things get even stupider. Because there's a group of people in this country who believe that if you don't have sex the right way, man on woman, get it over with quick, then you will bring about the end of the world as they know it. And I'm not saying they know it very well. In fact, we should start referring to the puritanical prudes in this country as being in the closet. Because how do you hold on to such dinosaurific thoughts as, gay marriage is a threat to so-called normal marriage anyway? This mode of, let's call it thinking, started long ago, of course. Until recently, you didn't dare come out as a homosexual in this country at all because of all the closed-minded bigots. These assholes have been saying for decades that marriage equality would ruin this country. And now, of course, we have empirical data showing them that they are wrong. They are wrong-minded idiots with the brain of a small shoebox. That doesn't stop them, of course. Now that marriage equality is sweeping its way across this nation, now that we're finally catching on that it's okay to allow people to have some of the same rights straight people have been shitting on, it's time for the bigots to try a different tactic. And that's what they did this week in Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping through their brains. When the State House passed a law allowing only clergy to issue marriage licenses. Clergy who can conveniently use their religion as a basis for depriving people of their rights. But you know what we have in this country? A little thing called the First Amendment. And I think it's time we start sticking up for it. Recently, there's been a rash of new laws and court rulings allowing anyone to use their religion as their excuse for breaking the law. Maybe we should start using our laws rather than looking for excuses around them. Call me a law and order atheist. I believe in the law, and the law says this is bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, let's talk about theater. I have a long background in theater, but I have abandoned it. I've stopped acting, I've even stopped writing plays, because for the most part, it's just nonsense. A recent New York Times article by Patrick Healy addressed one of the reasons for this, the way theaters are run as little empires unto themselves. This ties into the general topic of sex because so many theaters don't seem to think they need to behave like real companies and protect their employees from sexual harassment. Heck, right now in Los Angeles, there's a debate going on over whether theaters should obey any rules at all. Should they have to pay taxes? Should they have to obey fire codes? The theaters say they shouldn't. People with brains say they absolutely should. You see, the argument from the theater is, we can't do all of that. We're just poor little theaters. Really? Would we accept this same argument from a restaurant? Or a corporation? How about from Walmart? How'd you like to hear something like that coming out of Walmart? No. Then we shouldn't allow it from a theater. If they don't want to obey the law, they shouldn't be in business. End of story. Art isn't going to die if a few theaters go out of business, because for the most part, theater sucks anyway. Most of it is shit, and the people who run them are certainly not the kind of people to defend art. Either they're arbiters of art who forgot that theater can also be entertaining, or they're yokels who think that an all-woman cast of 12 Angry Men is cutting edge. Or, better yet, let's do it with men and women because we didn't have enough women audition, and let's call it 12 Angry People. Forgetting, of course, that this story has already been done 4 million times on TV, in everything from Happy Days to Family Guy, and that there's a reason why most people would rather watch TV than see live theater, because theater basically sucks. And it's not going to get any better as long as we leave it in the hands of a breed of egotistical assholes who only care about art when they're forced to obey the law. It's the hypocrisy that really gets my goat. Children can't see a swimsuit, but guns are just dandy. Oklahoma feels they can break the law because they're defending their so-called beliefs. Theaters use the almighty idea of art as a sign that they're above the law. How's this sound? Why don't we just apply the rules to everybody? The laws should be applied equally to all. I should get to see a drawing without some mother's group saying it's turning some child into a rapist. It's really not that difficult. Oh, and by the way, behaving like prudes hasn't stopped people from being rapists so far, so I think we can see a bikini. It's not like I'm saying if children can't see swimsuits, they shouldn't be allowed to see hats. If guns are so great, let's give every newborn a vial of deadly anthrax. Let's just apply the laws. Let's try that. Use some common sense. Stop being a bunch of idiots. If just for 5 minutes. You'd be amazed how easy it is. The cool thing for this week doesn't really apply to me, fortunately, but I wanted to stay with the topic of sex for this week, and I found one cool thing that does that very well. A recent study from the National Institute of Health has shown that the herpes drug Valtrex may be effective in also helping those with HIV. Now, this may not apply to those with AIDS, but for now at least, research is looking good. The study still has a long way to go before becoming definitive, but it's a good sign for anyone with HIV, or, for that matter, just for people who would like to have sex without a condom again. People did that once. This episode is brought to you by my new book, Heaven Enough, from Limitless Publishing. You can buy it now for the Kindle or in paperback from Amazon, or from Barnes & Noble for your Kobo. I'll put a link to it in the show notes, or you can find out more on kenlasalle.com or limitlesspublishing.net. And that's the Monday Morning Show for March 16th, 2015. Be sure to check back next week for another episode. Head on down to kenlasalle.com for all the latest. You can find my ebooks, paperbacks, and audiobooks all over, etc., etc., etc. You have yourself a terrific week. Be good to yourself. Be kind to others. Let's make this world a better place.
I've been feeling so alone. Nobody here has called me from a function or a phone. If I'm dead, code, let me die. 'Cause I'm only wasting memory alive. If I'm dead, code, wipe the drive. 'Cause I'd rather be a memory than a ghost who's still alive.